Um, it's your girl. If anyone can say it's your girl, then it's me to you because I came out of you. So, I wanted to make you a makeup tutorial because years and years and years ago you asked me how I did my makeup, and because you thought it looked so nice, and I tried showing you, it just never worked out. I figured that for Christmas I could film this where you could post it online and I would feel embarrassed. So, that being said, here's what I do for my daily, every day when I want to do a full face makeup. I'm not going to work, I'm going out or something like that, so that's what I do usually. So, first I'm going to start off by moisturizing my face. So I took a shower and I moisturized a little bit earlier, but I'm going to moisturize again to show you how important it is. So I have this fancy Lush container that does not have fancy Lush lotion in it. It has, in fact, cheap shit in it. So what it really has is St. Ives moisturizer. I got this for $5 on Amazon, this huge ass tub, back in March of this year, and I have all of that still in there. So I'm just going to take just a little bit of this, that much, put it on my nose, my cheeks, my forehead, and my chin, and just go rub it in. Now, some people like to tap it to make themselves look fancy, but there's no need. As long as it's getting in there, it's getting in there. So, oh, okay. Now that we're all moisturized, it's time for the first step, which is foundation. This is a really cheap foundation. I use liquid because creams and stuff. I have a dry patch right here. It just accentuates that. It's just like, oh, dinosaurs used to live there. Nice. So I just use a liquid one. I go for very light coverage when it comes to my foundation. I do have some acne on my chin where I sleep, but I'm not afraid of them, so I don't cover them up as much as anyone else would. So I'm putting the product on my hand. This allows the product to warm up before I put it on my face, so it actually blends a lot better when it gets warmed up first. Okay. And to blend it, I'm going to use this guy. So this is a very dirty, used to be a light pink. You can tell from the sides. But this is a beauty blender. So the ones that are the retail beauty blenders are like $30 for a sponge like this. There's no need for that garbage. So I got this for $2. And even that is a stretch. So I'm going to just take the product and put it on the sponge, and then I'm going to dab it. Now, dabbing this type of product is helpful, just because wiping it or like swirling it around actually just makes it sit on top of your skin instead of having it sit on your skin and blend nicely with your skin tone. So I'm going to do that.
It doesn't really matter where the fuck you start. It just matters that it gets on your face.
So now that we have our foundation on, we can then build our face. That's why it's called foundation. So I have this Tarte face palette. It has contour, blush, color correcting shades, and highlighter in it. So I really like it because it has everything that I need and it's in my skin tone. Like it's meant for my type of skin, which is really good for me, but doesn't fit for everybody. So I'm going to take the combination of these two colors here and I kind of mix them together. I put it underneath my eyes and around my eyes and on my, like basically my T-zone area, any place where I know it's going to rub off very quickly, and the powder is just meant to set it on my face. Some people use a powder foundation for it. Honestly, this shit is practically the same. So I'm going to take a clean, small brush that I have and just very lightly dust it on. I don't need to go too heavy on this. I'm barely touching my face. Also, excuse me, I keep on looking into the viewfinder. So there, now it looks practically the same, except we have a little bit more coverage where we want it. So next I'm going to be contouring. So I know this is not something that you typically do in your day-to-day routine, but it's something that I do. I feel like it adds more dimension to my face, and I don't go heavy-handed with it. I don't like highlight the underside of it. I'll show you what I do. So in the same palette, I'm going to take this lighter brown shade and I'm just going to dust it onto this angled brush. It's meant for contouring, or for blush, I'm not sure what, but I use it for contouring. So I'm just going to barely dust anything on there, and I'm going to find my cheekbone, which is right here, and go right underneath it, kind of where my ear is, like so it goes from a line from my ear to my mouth. And with a very light hand, you're going to hear me say that like 10,000 times in this video, because you really only need a light hand when it comes to makeup. I'm going to dust it onto my face, kind of going into my hairline, like so. So there, you see we have a very nice shadow, whereas the side doesn't really have any. So I also like to do it on my jaw as well, just because I have a double chin and I like to hide it just a little bit. So I'm just gonna take the same exact shade. I'm going to open my mouth as wide as I can, like, and that allows me to see my natural my natural jawbone, without overcompensating. So if I were to just keep my mouth closed and to do it like where it is now, whenever I open my mouth, it would basically, the skin would move and it would look very apparent that I put contour there. So I'm going to do that. And it's barely anything. I barely put anything on my jawbone, just because I don't think I need it as much, but I just like to have that little bit of, you know, little bit of contour, you know. It's not like you could see it anyway. Okay, cool. So now that we have that done, we can finally move on to probably your favorite part of this whole thing, blush. And blush is very versatile. I think it's fantastic in every single way. It adds a lot of warmth to the face. If I'm doing any sort of makeup at all, like every day, I definitely put on blush. So I have this big as fuck fluffy brush that has a lot of blush on it already, because I don't clean my brushes. And I'm going to take this really nice, like, pink that has some champagne shimmer into it, kind of like a rose gold, and I'm going to, you know, put it on my face like so. I like to start at my my apples and then go towards my hairline. So yeah, now that we have a nice rosy thing going on, I'm going to put on highlighter, which is also something that you may not typically do. So this particular blush already has some shimmer to it, so my cheekbone is kind of highlighted. So I'm going to take this palette that I used before. I use it for practically everything, and this fluffy brush, and I'm going to take some on there and just go above it just a little bit. It adds just that little bit of shine that I like to have so I can beam down spaceships with my face. So now that we have our cheeks all done, I'm going to put a little bit on the tip of my nose. I put it very heavily on my nose just because of my nose shape, it doesn't really show up as much. So the reason why it's Frankenstein is because I ran out of my Urban Decay fancy mediocre brow gel. And then I had this other brow gel that I just got from Target that was not great. But simply because the applicator was really sparse, so the product like just went on my brows. It like went on, and then it looked very apparent. I looked like a drag queen, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but not the look I'm going for. So I was just like, hey, they square together. So I'm just going to take this awesome brush applicator that's really small and fine, and I'm going to put it in this big ass bottle, and it works like a dream. So that's what I use. So obviously that's a very particular thing. I'm not going to ask you to buy 2 different products just for you to have the same stuff that I do. But I'm going to take this very small thing, and I'm going to use very light strokes and brush it upward and down, starting from the middle to the tail. And for this particular product, it does not take a lot for you to get your desired effect. So I am very light-handed with it at all times. So I use a darker brow gel just because it matches my dyed hair, and it defines my brow a little bit better. And I don't do a lot of crazy shit to it. I don't use like a brow pencil to reshape my brow. I don't use a highlighter, or no, that's a lie. I don't use a concealer to conceal underneath to have that sharp line that you can kill people with. I just like a little definition, and my fucking brows can stay put throughout the day instead of like flying everywhere, making me look like that. Yes, sister, I don't have to do anything to you. Look at how, I didn't have to do shit. Look at this. I'm gonna match you to your twin. Oh God. Cool. I'm going to take this really fluffy brush again, and I'm going to go back into the palette, and I am basically going to cover my lid with the highlighter. So particularly focusing on underneath my brow and then on the inside of the eyeball. So this is just going on and highlighting. I do not usually use an eyeshadow in any shape or form, especially when I'm just trying to do a very simple look. Because I don't really know how to use eyeshadow, and when I do use eyeshadow, I use very natural brown tones. I use these in here. I tell you, I use this thing for everything. So that's the reason why I use it on my entire lid. It also helps just because I have darker eyelids, like my skin tone is a little bit darker. So it helps me a little bit. And it adds a little bit of shimmer, and you know, I fucking love shimmer. Since we're going in on this highlighter, I'm just going to put it on top of my brows. You can't even see it, but I know it's there, so it makes me feel good. That's all what makeup is about, is making yourself feel good in every single way. Put some more on my nose as if I didn't put enough on it already. Just put it everywhere. Just put it everywhere that you want. Highlighter is amazing. You could do whatever you want with it. Again, I want to beam down spaceships, so that's the reason why I do it. So we're done with that for now. So next we are going to do a very scary thing called wing eyeliner. So when I'm not being lazy, I actually put winged eyeliner on. And I put it just on my top lid. I don't put it on my waterline at all, just because I don't want to kill myself. So I envy any of those who do put it on their waterline. So I have two eyeliner pens. I don't like the pots or anything like that. I think that they dry out really too quickly. These are both from NYX. And there's a difference between them. There's a reason why I have two. So one of them has this very paintbrush type applicator. Do that there. And it goes on very thick. I'll show you. It goes on extremely thick. It's kind of runny a little bit, but you know what? It was like $5, so I'm not really going to complain about it. And then I have this other one, which is like a marker. So I'm going to put that on and we're going to see how it looks together. So you can see that this one, the first one, is really darker, and then this one's a little bit more controlled, but it's lighter as well. So I like this product the most just because, well, it's harder to get onto my face and get it to the darker shade that I want. The way the tip of the pen is helps me shape my wing a lot easier than the paintbrush does, because the paintbrush will leak everywhere. So taking the marker pen, I'm going to first make a line where the wing is going to go. I use the felt tip as a guideline whenever I'm doing this. So I kind of close my eyes and I go like this. So already you can see that there's a wing already there, and that was just with one stroke. So you're basically going to follow that as a template for the rest of the line on your eyelid. When I'm doing my eyeliner, I can't just do it willy-nilly, but you can see it on the camera, so you can not copy my movement.
I say not copy because I doubt that you're going to do this, but you know, who knows? Who knows?
I don't know why winged eyeliner is so difficult on myself, but when I do it on other people, it's like, oh yeah, it's like no problem. It's no problem. I just put the thing on there and I drag it. Well, there. Perfect. Not really. I done fucked it up. I hate myself. So, you done fucked it up. I just did the main line, and then I went underneath it because I felt like it looked more natural. So I'm just gonna lick a fucking Q-tip and just fix it. This is a real ass tutorial, okay? I'm not fucking around. This is what I typically do. Hell yeah, it's what I typically do. I fuck up all the time. But you know what? You learn. So there! That looks a lot nicer now. So if you have any obvious spots like I kind of do here, you're just going to take some of that powder we used earlier and just dab until it looks normal again. There! That's fine. So I'm not going to show you doing my other eye because my other eye is way different the way I do it. But it's basically the same principle. It may look different on either eye, but I have different eye shapes, so I don't really care all that much about the different shapes of eyeliner. Sometimes it can take a while to get to the perfect wing. It takes a lot of practice. I've been doing winged eyeliner since I was in the 8th grade, so I have got a lot of practice, and I will certainly help you do it if you need help, or if you don't even want to do winged eyeliner. Who fucking cares? Do whatever you like to do for your face. So we're almost at the last stretch here. Next I'm going to be using mascara. So before we do mascara, however, I'm going to curl my eyelashes. So I have this $5 eyelash curler, and it's going to look like a Chinese torture machine, but look at this. So it's not that scary, I promise you. You're just going to go right to your eyeball and smush it. No, I'm just going to take it, and then basically you're just smushing your eyelashes up, and you're just going to pump it a couple of times. It doesn't even pull at your eyelid any, like, this doesn't hurt whatsoever. And then there, see? Look at that. Wonderful. Before I just used mascara, and I was just like, why do my eyelashes only look good for like 2 seconds and then they look terrible after mascara? It's because I didn't curl my goddamn eyelashes. So this way mascara lasts longer. Not necessarily, the effects just look better for a longer period of time when your eyelashes are not in the middle of your goddamn eyeball. So I'm going to be using this product. It's called Better Than Sex Mascara. This is the only mascara I find that works. It's a really popular product, probably because it works really well. I hate the name. I don't get it. I don't understand why everything in makeup has to be so sexual. I personally like a bigger brush. I like a very natural look when it comes to my lashes and basically my overall look. That's why I don't like heavier coverage products. So with a light hand, just kind of flick it up. I almost blink into the wand a little bit. Cool. Now I have one, I will do the other. This is the only product that I do that I use my left hand for. I don't know why. Any other product I can't do. I tried doing my eyebrows with my left hand. Didn't work. Mascara? Oh, it's fine. Well, there! Doesn't that look fantastic? Now, sometimes I'll just walk out like this and I'll be fine, but most of the time I also use a lipstick. Now, I am not like you. I do not like very heavy lipstick. Again, I like a very natural, like very subtle type look, but I also like to look super cute at the same time. So this color is like a, it's like a liquid lipstick. It's in a coral pinkish shade, and I just put it on my middle parts of my lips. I just kind of like smudge it on there. It looks silly, right? Hold on just a second. It's gonna look good in a second. So I take a Q-tip, a clean end, not the clean that we fixed this look earlier, and I take that very small amount of product and I just spread it over my whole lip. There. Now doesn't that look lovely? It basically looks like a natural lip color, except not. So that's basically the look I go for when it comes to anything. It's like, oh yeah, it looks like she's not wearing makeup, but she really is wearing makeup. It highlights my natural beauty. So we need one more thing, and I said that the lipstick was the last thing, but we need one more thing. So I like to feel like a fairy at all times, just like I was in Iolanthe. So I'm going to take a little bit of glitter just on my nose, on my lips, on my eyebrows. I like to be sparkly. I like to be as natural as I can. I put that way too heavy on my lips. I like to be as sparkly as I can. I like to look like a fairy that just came out of a nice. I like to look like a fairy that has just come out of a river that's come to haunt mankind. Now, obviously, I didn't do my hair at all because this is not a hair tutorial. This is a makeup tutorial. But I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that if you have any questions, you can just call me. And we don't have to post it on the internet. But here you go. Merry Christmas, Mom. Love you. Bye.